Okay, let's dive into one of the wildest stories in AI right now. We're talking about how a single product launch, a product that used a lobster as its symbol, just completely upended the entire industry. It created this massive disruption that's still unfolding as we speak.
And it all kicks off with this number, $400 million. That's the annual recurring revenue for the company right at the center of this storm. Yeah, a huge number by any standard. But you know what? That's not even the craziest part. The truly mind-blowing part is that they pulled this off with a team of just 146 people. I mean, the efficiency here is just completely off the charts. It shows you this company absolutely nailed its market. So who are they? Let me introduce you to Lovable, the fastest growing software startup in history. Back in 2025, they didn't just release another product. No, they literally created and defined an entire category that just took over the tech world. They called it vibe coding.
So, what on earth is vibe coding? Well, it's actually beautifully simple. You just describe what you want, an app, a tool, a website, and poof, the software just appears. It was all conversational. You didn't have to be a coder. You just had to have an idea. It was all about the outcome, not the syntax.
And these numbers, wow. They really show you the scale of their success. Lovable hit $100 million in recurring revenue in just 8 months. That's faster than any startup, ever. By March of this year, they're sitting at $400 million, with almost 8 million users creating over 100,000 new projects every single day. They were the undisputed king. And then the Lobster showed up. A brand new product called OpenClaw hit the scene, and almost overnight, the entire conversation around AI just shifted. This wasn't just some new competitor, it was a fundamental change in what people expected AI to do for them. And check out this quote, it just nails the shift perfectly. The market went from tools that build for you to systems that work for you. And that's not just a new feature, right? It's what's called a category compression. The entire world of vibe coding was suddenly getting swallowed up by something way, way bigger. So the launch of OpenClaw really kicked off a brand new AI battlefield. The fight wasn't about who had the best building tools anymore. Suddenly, it was all about who could give you the most powerful, most capable autonomous agent to go out and do things for you. You know, what's so wild about this is how fast our expectations are changing. Just a couple years ago, we were thrilled if AI could just write code for me. Then Lovable came along with build software for me. But OpenClaw blew that up with work for me. And we're already looking at the next phase, run my business. Each new wave just completely absorbs the one before it. And in the chaos, the whole market just fractured into these different strategic camps. You had OpenClaw, and they were all about giving you, the user, total control. Anthropic focused on safety. Perplexity went all in on convenience. And then, of course, you had the giants like Meta and NVIDIA, who just played to their strengths, massive distribution and rock-solid enterprise reliability. Everybody had to pick a side. So how do we make sense of this new battlefield? Well, we can use a 3-axis framework. The first axis is execution, is basically asking, where does the AI actually do its work? Is it running locally, on your machine, where you have all the control but also all the responsibility? Or is it in the cloud, which is way easier but means you have to place all your trust in the vendor? Okay, the second axis is orchestration. Is the product using one single, super polished AI model to give you a really consistent experience? Or is it more of a conductor, a smart system that can choose from a bunch of different models to find the absolute best one for any specific job? This is where a lot of the competition is going to happen. And the third and final axis is the interface. This really gets at the product's core philosophy. Is it designed for a builder, someone who wants to be in the driver's seat with a ton of control? Or is it for a delegator, someone who just wants to say, here's the goal, you go figure it out, and trust the agent to handle the rest? And all of this, all these different strategies and axes, it all leads us to the real heart of the issue. The single biggest problem in this new era of AI isn't the technology, it's us. It's the gap between what the tech can do and what we humans are actually willing to let it do. It's a trust problem. This chart just says it all. Look, a massive 70% of people are perfectly comfortable letting an AI agent book a flight for them. You know why? Because it's a low-stakes task you can easily undo. But then look at trust levels for irreversible financial stuff. It absolutely plummets down to 27%. That huge drop, that's the trust gap. And user concerns back this up completely. Over half of people are saying, hey, I want to be able to put limits on what AI can do. And almost half, 44%, are actively worried about these agents just going rogue and doing things they weren't supposed to. Without solving for trust, the technology just hits a brick wall. So how do you actually build that trust? Well, it really boils down to 5 key things. People need to understand why an agent did what it did. They need a big undo button. The agent's power has to have clear limits. For the really important stuff, a human needs to give the final okay, and it needs to show its work. It's all about transparency and control.
Right. So what does all this mean for you? Let's switch from just analyzing the situation to figuring out what to do about it. For any leaders or developers out there trying to build in this space, here are the key takeaways for navigating this brand new world. First, map out where you are. Are you building a tool that helps people create, or are you building an agent that acts for them? Second, you have to define your strategy across those 3 axes we talked about: execution, orchestration, and interface. Third, and this one is huge, build trust by focusing on reversibility, not just raw power. Fourth, assume that specialized tools are going to get absorbed by general agents and prepare for it. And finally, start competing for agent legibility. Make your systems easy for other AIs to understand and work with. And that really leaves us with this final thought to chew on. From the reign of the vibe coding king to the arrival of that lobster, the entire landscape has been redrawn. But the biggest challenge isn't technical. The next great battle in software is not about what AI can do. It's about a much more human question: who are we willing to let it become on our behalf?